All right, my newspaper layers are done. I have completed 3 really nice smooth layers, making sure I can smooth down and see where the eyes are. See that bump for the eyebrows. I can see the nose and the nostrils and the lips and the chin. My last layer of paper mache is going to be on paper towel. So this makes it a little tricky because paper towel is thinner than newspaper. But what the paper towel does, if you can remember back to our piñatas, is it creates a nice solid color on our mask or on whatever we're paper macheing. If we were to try to paint our masks, way too much paper mache there. If we were to try to paint our masks with newspaper showing, the newspaper would show through on our paint. So when we try to paint these gold or yellow, we would see words through the paint. So I'm wrapping this, smoothing this paper towel, trying to keep it nice and flat. If you have chunks of paper mache, just try to smooth them out or get them off of your mask. I have a feeling they would dry in a hard clump. I got a little bit of newspaper hanging off around the edge over here. Try to cover that last bit up. Taking them off of the messy mat will be a little tricky. I think what our best bet is going to be is to clear the messy mat off, pick the mat up, and kind of bend the mat a little bit. Try to find that plastic, and I'm working kind of down by the chin, and then it will peel right off. At this time, you should have a little piece of paper with your name on it next to you. Put that little name tag on top of your mask and set it in the spot Miss Cleary has set for us. This is going to dry so that we can paint and attach it to our headdress and add details next time. So paper mache, that's the first step today. On day 2, we are ready to put our mask onto our headdress. So mask is now gold, and we need to figure out how to get this on here. So we're going to take our mold as a tracer, and on the back of your headdress we're going to trace this mold. We don't want it to touch the bottom or touch a side, so I'm just trying to place it in the middle as best as I can, and I'm going around the edge with a pencil, and I'm going to cut this out. So I think giving this a little fold to snip works awesome, and then my scissors can fit in here. If you cut a little bit in the inside of where you traced, so that just means I'm not cutting on the pencil line, I'm cutting it a little bit smaller. It's always best to have it too small, and we can cut it bigger, but we can never really make it smaller. Now our mask is going to fit in there. So some of the ends or the sides of my paper mache are curled up. I'm trying to kind of flatten them out. If they're really bothering you, you could trim a little bit of these edges off, but not too much. We want to use these edges to tape. So this is where you may have to help somebody out next to you. So I'm starting with just a couple of pieces on the back to kind of place it. So I'm making sure I get some tape at the top and the bottom. It's looking like that's going to show at my neck, so I'm going to trim that off. And now I'm going to just keep doing this so that I have tape all around. This is the part that doesn't always work the best. If you flip it over and push on the front, that's going to get that tape to stick. So I'm going to do more tape. I might even make X's or T's or crisscross the tape as I go around. So, I know I say don't use too much tape a lot. However, we need quite a bit of tape today to get this to stick. So help the people out around your table. The next part, we're going to do a little bit of planning. and sketching with a ruler and a pencil. All right, I think this is going to be good to go. Okay, so planning. We're going to have that picture of King Tut up on the smartboard, and you're going to notice that the lines, the blue lines of the headdress, kind of go up and down, vertical at the top, and then they switch to horizontal. So at the top, I am going to draw lightly with my pencil, and I don't know if you can see that on the video, but I can see it on my mask. I'm going to try to draw these lines going vertical, and they kind of curve as I go around. I have about a finger space between them. There is no way for me to erase on this, so make sure you know exactly what you're doing as you're kind of pushing this foil down. So I would say that looks pretty symmetrical. Now I'm going to switch to my lines going horizontal. So that means they're going this way. I do have rulers out for this part if you would like to use a ruler to sketch. And again, I'm trying to go a finger space between these lines. And I don't know if you can see this on the video, but this is going to tell me where I need to put my blue paint on the headdress. Right down by the chin. I don't want these blue lines on the chin, so I'm kind of stopping them where my finger is. And then when I get to the bottom, they're going to go all the way across those rectangles at the bottom. So if you want to do a little pretending, and pretend that I have done this on both sides of the mask, I am going to be ready for the paint and for the marker. If you are somebody who added that snake or added the beard, you will be able to paint those as well. I'm going to start with the black. The only part I see of black are the circles in the eyes. So I can kind of see where they are on this mask. I can see where the eyes were on that plastic mold. And I'm making a circle. It's probably about the size of a nickel. And I'm trying to make it nice and smooth. And I'm going over it a couple times just to make sure it's nice and dark. Looks strange, but we're going to add the blue around the edge. And my paintbrush just rolled in my blue paint, so I will be right back to add that blue. Before you start with the blue paint, I would suggest kind of drawing the shape of the eye with pencil, gently. And then that little bit of makeup mark, eyeliner that goes outside, could help too. You can also add the eyebrows in with pencil. So I'm going to move this up a little bit closer so I can see it better and you can see it better. The blue paint. The eyebrows have the shape of a rainbow. So I'm going super slow, trying to make this nice and smooth. My paint is going to also outline the eye shape. And that's where that eyeliner goes out to the sides, almost down the edge of the face. Same thing on this side, trying to match and make it symmetrical. There's no paint on the nose. There's no paint on the lips. They're just gold. Little bit of eyeliner on the side there. Then I'm ready for the blue on the foil, on the headdress. I'm going to flip this upside down so I don't smear the eyes. I want to take my time on these lines and I want to try to make them really solid blue. They're thin lines. The lines of this blue should be thinner than the gold. So that's why that finger space between the lines is really important. So I'm going to keep painting these, and when I come back you will see a finished headdress.